It's 6 o'clock. Everybody's here except for Heidi, and she will not be here. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Additions to the agenda. There is an addition to the agenda. If you click on that hyperlink, and it should open up number 6 and under consent, and then the new business.
Do you want me to talk about those now, or do you want me to wait?
Let's wait till we get into it then.
Okay, sounds good.
Approve the agenda.
I'm going to approve the agenda.
Second. I got a motion from Cheryl and a second from Rick. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Consent agenda. We have the minutes underneath there and the financials. Any concerns about the financials at this time, Matt?
No, everything seems to be going as scheduled up to this point. Cheryl was in, and she can certainly add. Roofing project is wrapping up, so you're going to start seeing those checks go through. I think there might be one more coming after this, but no, everything is on schedule and at this point according to plan, which is good.
Good. And Cheryl, you had the opportunity for the bills?
Yes, I did. I did notice we have 30 new iPads added to the queue. It's that's an ongoing thing, and it's great. Our kids are getting their technology. Like Matt said, there was a big check to the roofing project, which was expected. Bathroom upgrades are still being paid for, and they're looking good. I checked out a couple of the girls' bathrooms. Also, we had some new equipment come in, a tire changer, tire balancer, a 4-point hoist and rolling jacks. Master cooling system tester is still in the works, right?
Yes, yeah.
So we've got new equipment coming in for our
Yep. And all of that automotive equipment that Cheryl references, that's all through that CTE and the Gala funds and stuff. So Mr. Gunther is excited, and the equipment is in, and kids are getting ready to get to work on it. So it's exciting.
So the monies are being spent, and the payment for our liaison officer. So our liaison officer is still on board. That was the only things that I really saw that jumped out at me. Just thought I'd mention them. Nothing new or unusual. Everything as usual. Good.
And then, as you can see in the minutes from last night's meetings are in there too. So. So anyhow, so you have all that information in front of you. So as the consent agenda, we'll make a motion for the entire one, unless if anybody has any questions or concerns or comments about that.
I'd move to approve the consent agenda.
I got a motion from Cheryl. Second. Second from Lou. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Communication items, I guess we only have one.
You're stuck with me for communication items, and I do not have a whole lot on the communication side. We did meet last night and communicated quite a bit. The one thing that I will just say is we are getting ready for homecoming week, and so that will be exciting next week. I know the elementary school is planning on coming over for the Pep Fest on Friday, so that should be an interesting event and an exciting event for all the students in school. I will also be meeting with the juniors and seniors just to go over homecoming expectations. I'm actually going to meet with them on Thursday. And yes, I'm already hearing that I'm going to be the bearer of bad news about what is considered part of homecoming and what isn't. I think the overall message just needs to be is we are a part of a community, and we need to be a good part of that community. We have to be a quality neighbor. And the last thing I want is for our community to think that homecoming is a time where students are going out and making poor choices. And I just want to make sure that our juniors and seniors understand that, and that they're on the same page. I want everyone to have fun. I want everyone to participate in what we have going on in homecoming. But I don't think that means that we have to go out and vandalize property or do anything like that. I think we can have fun while still making healthy choices. So that'll be the message on Thursday with juniors and seniors. And we'll go from there. But there's lots of activities next week that we're hosting, so I look forward to seeing everyone at all of those things. New this year also, I should mention, on Friday, there will be a tailgate event that will be at the football game prior to the football game. The credit union, Central Minnesota Credit Union, will be here, and they are going to be doing a tailgate event. We're actually going to be raising some funds for additional equipment in the makerspace, and the credit union is going to be a partner with that, and they will do a matching contribution up to a certain dollar amount. So look for that information coming out soon at the end of this week, and I hope we get a good turnout. So that's what I have for communication items.
Okay. Anybody else? I think, Rick, did you go to the C meeting?
Yeah.
Do you have any information about the
I just
C?
came from a soccer game.
Oh, did you get hit in the head?
No, I should have. Yes, we did attend. Actually, I attended 2 meetings. I attended the regional Minnesota School Board Association meeting last week, and then Matt and I went to the state C meeting on Friday.
Okay.
And the basic news we keep getting is we can't do a whole lot until we see what happens with the elections.
Mm-hmm.
The elections are going to really tilt things one way or another. But it looks like this will be a budget year, and they'll be talking about what they're going to give to the schools again.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like we just did that yesterday, but it's already been 2 years.
Yep.
And they did talk to the School Board Association meeting that a lot of the mandates that got vetoed last year are going to be back again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from testing for dyslexia to putting In God We Trust up in the schools to, I don't know there are just a ton of mandates that, the civics class for seniors or juniors, that'll be back again. And so there's a lot of stuff to be watching for with the legislature when they start meeting in January.
Sounds like exciting times.
We had a committee meeting too on the Paynesville Vocational and Career and Training Fund Committee. Now, the worker space, you probably will cover that when we go through the allocation.
We'll get there, yeah.
So, but the other part of this would be the CNA program, where that is almost ready to go now.
Oh, good.
And we have, there will be a certified instructor. Classes would run for a semester. We'd be able to get 2 classes in a year, is what they're saying. And the other thing, Mike gave an update on where they are, and they did get all the tools in. He's got 10 kids in his class right now. Next semester, he'll have 15. And they're also looking at what would be nice if they could get 7th and 8th graders to come through and show them, what they're doing, and try to get those kids more interested in his program. So really, this whole thing is going to be selling the programs. The teachers are going to have to sell their own program to keep the teachers, going in these programs.
Yep.
So,
Good. Exciting.
We had a continuing ed meeting on September 18th. That's where the continuing ed for the teachers towards their licensure is collated and kept track of for MD. There wasn't a lot because there was a setback because of the new suicide training that was imposed. So they gave an extra year because they really didn't have all of the paperwork in place and the requirements set in stone and whatnot. So it was kind of a mismatch at first, and then so they gave an extra year. So that's coming up in January. So most of the teachers had everything in place already. And now that they've got that in place, they're going to add a new requirement, cultural competency. However, we don't know what the requirements are going to be, what's going to be necessary, and how they're going to track it. But so that's all new stuff in there. And the tiered licensing is still an ongoing discussion, and evidently that's not probably going to impact us here at Paynesville much.
In the short term. In the short term, it won't, but as we start to experience turnover, and depending on what position we experience turnover in, that obviously could impact us. But currently, right now, we aren't being impacted at all by tiered licensing, which probably puts us as one of the few districts in the state right now that aren't dealing with the PELSBA board and the tiered licensing, which is nice. They can work out some of the kinks before we have to be part of that system. But due time, we will have attrition and we will have things go on that all of a sudden we will be kind of wading through the new tiered licensing and how that all is worked out. So there'll be more to come on that.
Good. Anybody else have anything committees that they've gone to? Okay, let's move on to old business, district goals.
And I do not have an update on district goals.
Okay, we kind of discussed a lot last night. So
We did.
next time. All right, we're going to move on to new business, lane changes. Go ahead.
Do you want?
You go ahead.
Okay. There are 6 faculty members who have met the requirements that are stipulated in the master agreement. Just to make sure everyone's on the same page, there's criteria as far as germane to an assignment. They also need prior approval. And then they need to have certain satisfactory performance in the courses that they get approved for. These 6 staff faculty members have all completed their paperwork, completed coursework, and provided us sufficient evidence for their progress in the course. Be my recommendation that we approve all 6 of these lane changes.
I know we had talked about this in the past, Bruce and the rest of you. Didn't we talk about that, maybe putting that on the consent agenda? Could that be on the consent?
It certainly can be.
Because we're bound by contract.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real honest with you. If we don't approve the item, most likely we're going to have a grievance.
Right.
I don't know what our defense for not approving it would be. So it certainly could be a consent agenda
Let's see who's
item.
on there first. No.
We talked about some of the stuff on consent agenda being that you're just going to do it anyway.
Yep.
So maybe you want to put a note
Nope,
for that.
I will make a note of that. That works well with me, too. If you
Okay.
guys are comfortable with it, that's what I will make a note of.
I think
So
we
I'll make a
approve the
motion to
contract.
approve because it's where we're at right now.
Yep.
Yep.
Give a second.
Okay, so I got a motion from Bruce and a second from Rick. Any other further discussions? Anybody in the community want to say anything? Forgot to ask that before. And hear none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Just for the ones that are in the audience, for the underneath any new businesses, if there's anybody that has any question about them, just raise your hand and we'll call upon you and we'll try to answer the best we can or get back to you at a later date. All right, attestation. What's that about?
The asbestos abatement, so we have 2 classrooms in this building, classrooms 103 and 105. Right now, I'm going to get these numbers mixed up. 105, I want to say, is the existing computer lab. I'm looking at Chad to nod his head. Yes, existing computer lab. Okay, thank you. 105 is the existing computer lab. Right now, tile floor is in there. It also has a room off to it. The plan for that would be to eventually turn that into a conference room, and that's where the board would also meet. That room off to the end of it, we would use as a production studio, so that BNC News could be done in there, and even an event like this would be able to be broadcast with stationary equipment that would be able to have a higher quality broadcast. The room next to it, 103, is where we will house the CNA program that Randy mentioned. Both of those rooms need some flooring work done. They both have electrical issues that are running in the floor. Unfortunately, when you peel up the tile that's in those rooms, there is asbestos in the mastic that was used to put that tile down. So it needs to be abated before we can move forward with repurposing those rooms. 103 right now is not being used. 105 is used one period of the day. We would relocate that class for that period. So it'd be my recommendation to do this. The contractor that we would award this bid to, he would be able to get the work done over MEA break. They would work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then they would have the rooms, the floors would be bare, and we'd be ready for our flooring contractor to come in and put new flooring down.
What kind of flooring?
It'll be a vinyl flooring is what's going into it. A vinyl plank flooring right now is what we're currently looking at. So it'll still be a hard surface. There's not going to be any carpet. But it will be different than the existing tile that's in a lot of spaces.
Will you remove the electrical from the flooring then?
We're going to remove some of it. There's going to need to be some electrical. For instance, the room 105 that does have the plan is to have a conference table / boardroom in there. One of the things I want to see is that we would actually have a powered table, one for these microphones to not have these cords going everywhere, but they would just be able to simply be plugged into the table. And two, when board members or others bring their Chromebook or other devices that maybe have low battery, they would have a space right by them to be able to charge those things. So we need to repurpose electricity more than just simply remove. The plan for this, asbestos abatement would be run through health and safety, so the district would cash flow it. We would get on our health and safety then next year, which is perfectly doable. The state is okay with that. The rest of that repurposing of those rooms, we would use the dollars from the sale of the building, that fund that is currently sitting there. There's about $53,000 in it. We would use some of those dollars. It's not going to cost $53,000. I think it'll be closer to the neighborhood of 10,000 total, but we would use some of those funds from the sale of that building to finish the repurposing of those two spaces. Questions?
So I assume we're looking for a motion to
Yes.
approve?
It would be helpful to move forward with a motion.
I would think it's a good idea.
Well, let's be honest, people. I mean, right now we're talking about two classrooms. One of them is dark all day and doesn't get used. The other one is dark 7 out of 8 periods of the day. I don't believe it's a real wise use of space. Let's do something so we can use it.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
I got a motion from Bruce and a second from Lou. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Preliminary 2018 payable 2019 levy.
So we do have our preliminary levy report. You will notice a very slight decrease in local property taxes from the school district. Assuming that all these numbers hold true, I would, it's pretty good chances that they will. There might be a few things that move a little bit. Both Joan and I have been over our levy report multiple times. We did catch a couple of things that they have corrected and is updated in this run. It is a 0.41% decrease from previous year. If you look at the 2018 limit was $2,408,505 and change. 2019 proposed would be $2,398,519 and change. Just shy of a $10,000 decrease is what we're looking at. That comes out to 0.41%. I don't know that anybody's going to really notice a 0.41% decrease on their tax statement, but in my opinion, it's pretty much a level levy, which I think would be something that most community members would appreciate. And then the nice thing, I just want to make sure everyone understands that right now, Paynesville schools, we have no OPEB responsibility. So OPEB stands for Other Post-Employment Benefits. So some school districts have contract language that when employees retire, there are certain benefits that continue to be paid out on their behalf until a certain age or certain requirements get met. Those benefits have to be levied so that you have the dollars in case all those liabilities would come to fruition right away. You have to levy those dollars. Thankfully, Paynesville is one of the districts in the state that doesn't have any OPEB responsibilities, and so we don't have to actually levy any local dollars in order to cover those. So Be my recommendation to approve this levy, the 2019, pay 2019 limit.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion from Bruce and a second from Randy, or was it?
Okay.
Give it to Randy.
Was it Randy? Okay. Any other further discussions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried.
Can I just make one comment?
Yes.
I don't know if you read in the Minneapolis Star Tribune this morning, I don't know if it was just online or it was in the paper, about the number of schools in the state that are in financial trouble. They
Statutory.
pointed out Forest Lake, number of schools that are making cuts. And I just be thankful that we're in a school that we're not facing those kinds of things right now. But many school districts are in trouble, so
Yep.
we can be very blessed here
Agreed.
for now.
For now. Okay, D, truth and taxation, where we have set dates for that.
Yep, so it is that time of year. We need to have, by the end of September, we have to have truth and taxation hearing date set. In order to do that, we need to do that at an open public meeting, and date, time, and location all need to be specified. We will take this information then and we will send it on to the county auditors. County auditors will include our hearing date and time and location on the tax statements that go out. My understanding is the history in this district has been to use the first December school board meeting as the meeting time when we would have our hearing. Since we would have a public hearing at that meeting, it would be my recommendation that that be the first item of the agenda. So if we have people that want to come and ask questions about their tax statement, they do not have to wait around and have us conduct our business in order to ask those questions. So with that, we would be setting our payable 2019 tax hearing for Monday, December 4th, 2018 at 6 p.m. at the Paynesville Area High School Seminar Room.
What was that?
Oh, yeah, I believe it needs to be Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a Tuesday.
Yep, it says Monday, December 4th.
Do we-
It's Tuesday.
December 4th is a Tuesday.
Do we have to have a specific
And
time?
you've
I
got
know,
listed Tuesday up top.
I know we had years past, it always ran for 30 minutes. It was always like 5:30 to 6, and then the board meeting started at 6. Is that, because we don't run it in our board meeting.
Oh, you don't?
No, we just
Oh.
run it before it.
We have a second meeting, is it?
Have we now?
It used to
No,
have
you're right. It's-
You used to need to, it was a statutory requirement to have a separate truth and taxation
Right.
public hearing that couldn't be part of your regular meeting. And I want to say maybe 3 years ago, they changed it to say that now the public hearing can actually be part of your regular business meeting.
Okay.
When do the students come in? When do we have an afternoon?
December 18th.
Oh, we will have a second meeting, okay. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. So it's the public hearing for taxes payable in 2019 for Tuesday, December 4th, 2018 at 6 p.m. in this room.
Okay.
Okay?
Do we have to make a motion for that?
We do.
I'll make a motion.
So I got a motion from Cheryl,
Second.
second from Randy. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Additions to the agenda, number, new business, makerspace, number E.
All right, so we have talked about this makerspace quite a bit. What we are intending to do is I have shared the inventory of equipment that would be in the makerspace both at the elementary school and the high school with everybody. So you can certainly take a look at all of that. What we're running into is we're running into a little bit of a timeline. The timeline is we have an in-service day, a professional development day scheduled for November 21st. So the ideal situation would be that we would be able to have some equipment here to do some professional development activities with the makerspace on November 21st. The problem is that intent with those, with the current inventory, they are going to a meeting next week at the elementary school and a meeting at the high school with different committees, and then teachers in general are going to have some input on this. We will be ready and done and ready to order prior to the next meeting, but if we wait till the next meeting to come with the official list and have you approve that list, we're going to run into some timelines about getting all of this equipment here in order to actually have teachers be able to manipulate it on the 21st of November. So the alternative is if you could approve the parameters for us to work with, we could then get moving on that, and then at the first meeting in October, you would see the official list as well. But what I'm asking tonight is just to be able to allow that $40,000 as a do not exceed amount. We did get a donation of a printer at our last CTE advisory meeting. That printer's in the Middle School Media Center, so there was a banner printer that was going to be part of this. That obviously will be able to come off the list. I do think that would allow us some more flexibility with bringing in some other equipment. So I believe the do not exceed of $40,000 is still accurate. And then the dollars that we're actually using are the dollars that were donated by Mr. Dillon. He donated $50,000 for this very purpose. And so my request at this time would be to spend $40,000 on equipment, and we would still have $10,000 to be able to fund consumables for this first year. And that consumable number is really something that I can't sit here today and tell you this is exactly the dollar amount we need in consumables. So yeah, I'm just estimating $10,000 is what I'm estimating. Questions at all?
I'll make a motion that we approve up to $40,000.
I'll second.
I got a motion from Rick and a second from Lou. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried.
So the plan then will be at the first meeting in October. Those committee meetings and everything will be done. We will bring the makerspace item back as just an informational piece for the board, and then you'll be able to take a look at exactly what equipment is in both of the makerspaces and all of that. But again, it will be just an information item.
At that point in time, would they be up and running?
Our hope right now is if we could do the training and stuff at that November 21st in-service date, and there is still some movement. I have a prior commitment that I'm trying to talk to them about maybe doing in January, but our hope for sure is December 1st. But I'm hopeful that we can get something up and going before that, but I think realistically December 1st will be a go date on the makerspaces.
Okay, because it'd be kind of nice to be able to see that, what we all approved and how it's been going.
Sure.
Well, lots of people from the community also will be asking about it.
Absolutely.
Just my preference is, sometimes if, I know that you give us a lot of information, if you could just, you're gonna buy a lot of equipment, we aren't gonna have a clue exactly what you have, but people are gonna come and ask us about it.
Yep.
If somewhere we could just get a bullet list of,
You know, I mean, I think we could even do one better than that. I think we could have the first meeting in December. We could actually have in the Middle School Media Center, and you guys could actually spend some time in the makerspace doing some different things and looking at what's all in there and what opportunities we're going to be providing. The Middle School Media Center may be a nice place to also have that truth and taxation hearing as well. Given the fact that it's a 0.41% decrease, I don't know that we're going to have a lot of people show up for it. However, if they would, it would be a decent space to do that as well. So I would recommend, let's just plan on having a December board meeting in the Middle School Media Center.
Works.
That'd be perfect. Yep.
Perfect.
All right. All right. That's the agenda.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
And since Heidi's not here, I'll second.
So I got a motion from Lou and a second from Cheryl. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried.
Thank you. You guys are efficient.